this episode, we're taking a look at musical intervals. Hello and welcome to Tuts, the show where we explore guitar playing and music theory to take our playing to the next level. I'm your host, Ray George. As you may have heard me say in at least a couple of my other videos, an interval in music is basically a measurement that describes the distance in pitch between any two notes. Having a good understanding of intervals is pretty much vital to studying music to any level really, because it's this information that will allow you to understand and construct scales and chords in any key, as well as enable you to understand and describe harmony on a more musical level. In order to understand intervals properly, it would be useful to first have an understanding of the major scale, because all intervals are analysed against or analysed using the major scale. If you don't yet know how the major scale is constructed, you might like to check out one of my earlier videos showing this on the guitar. That's Tuts Season 1, Episode 2. Once you understand the major scale, you can find the name or size of any interval by simply counting the note names included within the distance between the two notes, including the notes themselves, and using the lower note as the tonic or root note of the major scale that's being used as the reference scale. So for example, a C to an E is a third because there are three note names included to get from C to E, those being C, D, and E. Or from C to A is a sixth, since there are six note names C, D, E, F, G, and A. As well as the number value, an interval is also labelled based on the quality, or I guess the sound. These labels or names are major, minor, perfect, augmented, and diminished. Again, these labels are given based on the major scale from which the interval is constructed. If the upper note is contained within the major scale, then its label is a major interval, except unison, fourths, fifths, and octaves, which are perfect, as shown in this diagram. If the upper note of the interval is not contained within the major scale, and it is a semitone or half step smaller or lower than a major interval, it is then called a minor interval. If it is a semitone lower than a minor or perfect interval, then it's a diminished interval. And finally, if it's a semitone higher than a major or perfect interval, it is then called an augmented interval. It's good to take note that due to the way chords are constructed by stacking thirds on top of each other, it's good to know intervals up to the 13th, since that's the highest chord extension. The labels will of course repeat themselves at the octave, as they are the same notes repeated an octave up, so the intervals have the same qualities, they're just an octave higher. So that's about it for this video. If you found this helpful, make sure to hit that like button. If you're confused about anything I just explained, feel free to ask any questions down in the comments section, as well as any other suggestions, comments, or requests that you might have. And if this is one of the first of my videos that you're watching, I'm very happy to have you here. Welcome to my channel. I post videos like these, as well as covers, performances, and gear demo reviews every week, so make sure to hit that subscribe button to keep up to date.